all you hip cats and jive turkeys. Welcome to this funkadelic episode of Remember the Hyphen, the show where we look at comic books, movies, and everything in between. I'm Zun, gets you 134.
I got nothing to compare with that. I'm Average Joe Squad.
If you couldn't tell by the opening there, we're here to review a new DC animated universe movie.
Despite the fact I'm sitting here wearing all this Marvel gear.
Yeah, it came out a couple of days ago, but we haven't had time to get together and watch it or review it. It was Batman: Soul of the Dragon. If you remember, a couple months ago, we actually did a review of the trailer we got with Superman Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah, the sneak peek.
Yeah, the sneak peek. We might talk about the sneak peek for this at the end of the film, but...
Yeah, so... But overall, like, me and him were really, really excited when we saw the sneak peek, because it was something different. It wasn't just, like, the same kind of Batman story we've been getting, like, kind of over and over again recently. So I was kind of hyped for this just because I'm like, oh, it's something different, I mean, it's like 70s Kung Fu. It's like, hell yeah. Like, this is something different, you know?
And so we watched it, and I'll admit, it definitely did what I wanted it to. Like, it's very 70s. Although, as we kind of discussed this movie, it kind of feels more like it's a movie about the other characters in this. Basically the characters I think Denny O'Neil created aside from Richard Dragon. These 70s characters that Denny O'Neil made, and Batman's kind of just there to sell the film. It's kind of like when you read like a Spider-Man like a comic that's like an event comic and Spider-Man's on the cover.
But he's like in like 2 panels.
Yeah, like the Infinity Gauntlet story where he literally just shows up to be in the book because he sells books.
As we discussed in this, like we were watching it, and there were just scenes where like everybody is like poses, and then Batman
shows up.
He just fucking ridiculous.
He looks so out of place, like, which is weird because
what was the joke I used? It's the hey, look, I'm watching a cutscene in a game, and there's my character.
Yeah, like,
and like the character's like wearing a fucking clown costume,
which like normally that doesn't bother me because like
it didn't bother me at all. It's just once you pointed it out, I could not see it.
Like he just stands out so, especially because like most of the villains in this are not costumed villains, with the exception of like King Snake and
King Snake,
and the Cobra
also
Cult.
He looks fucking ridiculous.
Well, yeah, because he looks like Johnny Cage if Johnny Cage decided to blindfold himself.
Yeah. But overall, so let's kind of dive into the plot a little bit. Basically, it does take place in the 70s, in the midst of the swinging 70s, according to the back of the box. And it really centers around this cult trying to, the Cobra Cult, right?
Yeah, the Cobra Cult.
Yeah, the Cobra Cult, trying to basically open up this door that not only was Bruce's sensei basically was protecting it, and Shiva has the sword for it. It's kind of like,
because the film's kind of
I can't fucking talk today, apparently.
Well, because the film takes place between 2 points: the current, the present, and the past, where we see Bruce's training with O Sensei at Nanda Parbat. Which, if you know a lot about like the martial arts history of the DC universe, Nanda Parbat's actually this. It's kind of like Shangri-La.
Yeah.
But like here, pretty much most of the martial arts style superheroes have trained there. Batman, Lady Shiva, Richard Dragon, Bronze Tiger. I think Green Arrow's trained there. I know for a fact the Question's trained there because the Question's actually like an amazing martial artist. A lot of people don't know that about him. Like he's actually like one of the few people that's actually been able to defeat Lady Shiva. Like the only other people being like Batman, Cassandra Cain. Well, Cassandra Cain didn't even really beat her. She fought her to a standstill, like, which is impressive as is, especially when she's like 16. Robin, but of course then again like Batman, he had to cheat. But yeah, like, and so basically we see these little moments with the characters interlaced with the plot, which basically, like Colton here explained, as they're training, they find this door, which belongs to this god that the Cobra Cult worships, known as Naga. Which I don't know. It is like Naga's like a real like historical or a mythological character. I think it's just known as the god of snakes. I don't. But basically, it needs to be opened with a sacrifice via this sword known as Soulbreaker, which confused the shit out of me because I thought that was actually a reference to Katana, because she has a sword that's similar.
Yeah.
But basically, if you kill someone with it, their soul becomes stored in the sword, and then you put the sword in the door, and it acts like a key. But the thing with Naga is,
so it's the golden claw from Skyrim.
Actually, yeah.
Basically, it's the golden claw.
But basically, it will see, or Naga cannot exist in our world unless through like a person, basically.
A vessel.
Yeah, a vessel.
That's pretty common in a lot of movies. Pretty common.
Well, you know, if this were a live action 70s flick, they couldn't actually show Naga because it would be too expensive. So,
yeah.
But and so basically that's the premise of this film is just we see Batman's history with these characters, as well as the film as basically Special Agent Richard Dragon, who was sent to look into the Cobra Cult, recruiting all these other characters because he's like, I can't go with my.
I can't do this alone.
Well, not only that, like I can't go to like the CIA. I think he works for the CIA. He's like, I can't go to the government because they'll just want to actually fucking open the door like a bunch of dipshits.
Which, I mean, fair. I mean, at least they acknowledge that.
But yeah, it was really interesting seeing this because it uses a lot of characters from the 70s as well as Batman. Because when we meet Bruce, he's actually talking with his, well, ex-girlfriend after the scene, but basically Silver St. Cloud, who was actually his longtime girlfriend for a very long time. I want to say up until like the mid 80s. Actually, I think around the time Jason died in the Batman comics, because I know she was dating him for a long time. I actually have a book where they had broken up and she was dating like an actual like guy, and then like this weird thing in the cave makes them fuck. And then all of a sudden she's like, yeah, I need some of that good bat dick. And they're back together again for a little bit.
What's up with fucking them just doing that randomly?
Oh.
People don't just randomly want to fuck somebody. That's not real.
Well, it had something to do with, like, scarecrow toxin, and then, like...
No, I know, but...
And then, like, they... Hold on a second.
Spam risk.
No, I was just getting rid of it.
Well, I love that new update. It tells me when telemarketers are calling me, so I can just hang up on them.
I just didn't want the phone vibrating the whole time. But anyway, getting back, because, like, basically, like... She's not really that important. She's basically like, I love you, but you're hiding something from me. And Bruce being like, no, I'm not Batman. And Silver St. Cloud's like, I'm leaving you because you won't tell me you're Batman. But,
You got it. Alfred's actually Batman.
Actually, Alfred doesn't show up at all in this, sadly. We don't really get to see Alfred, which is weird, but... So yeah, that's the basic premise. What were your thoughts going into this?
Overall, like I said, I haven't watched a lot of kung fu movies. Like, you know, we always make jokes about like the Bruce Lee movies and the Bruce exploitation films.
Yeah.
I haven't actually watched a lot of them. I've seen Chinese Connection.
Yeah.
I've seen bits and pieces of other ones, but like I didn't really have a lot to compare it to. But just from going off like the stereotype of like a kung fu movie from the 70s. It felt like one.
That and whenever we had Bronze Tiger, it reminded me a lot of like blaxploitation films,
like Shaft.
Yeah, with Shaft, or like a lot of those black martial arts movies, where like I'm trying to think of some of them, but like that like usually it would like be something like Richard calls them like Black Samurai or like the Black Ninja.
It's just stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know? Even if you haven't seen those, you kind of just know the stereotype of them, so you can kind of really follow along with like, okay, this is what they're shooting for and try to emulate.
Because like they go to Chinatown and it looks like any Chinatown you've ever seen in a movie.
It literally looked like Chinatown out of Grand Theft Auto 3.
Looked like Chinatown out of actually the movie Chinatown or Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah. Like I like they get the costuming down. Like I love Lady Shiva's outfit in this movie. Where it's like a traditional Kui Pao but with pants. Or Bronze Tiger in his like
looking like fucking Luke Cage.
Like Luke Cage. Who he's actually voiced by Michael Jai White, aka the live action Spawn and Black Dynamite. So they got like a guy that's perfect to do blaxploitation.
I don't think before we dive more into, I just want to say like, can we talk about how epic this fucking cover is?
This cover looks amazing. But my favorite part is how Lady Shiva looks much more like the comic book accurate. I mean, granted, Lady Shiva looks fine in this movie, but like...
And then, I mean, like, Richard Dragon looks like fucking... It literally looks like Bruce Lee.
Well, that's on purpose, because he was made after Bruce Lee.
I know. Just...
But...
I mean, it's an epic looking cover.
No, that is a nice looking cover. It looks like something you'd see out of somebody. Speaking of, the soundtrack is really good in it. It has like all of like what you would expect from the spy thriller that Richard Dragon starts out in.
Yeah, literally reminded me of the way he like parachutes and stuff. Yeah. I'm like, yo, is this Spy Who Loved Me?
Spy Who Loved Me. The opening feels a lot like Dr. No, particularly the Casino Royale shot with the like to the point where like there's James Bond there basically. There's that. But yeah, the 70s like detective riff that plays throughout a lot of this. The fact that like the Batman theme kind of has like a 70s edge to it whenever he first shows up. There's just a lot of really good soundtrack beats.
It kind of just puts you in the mood, you know. Yeah. Like that, like this is the setting we're going with.
You know that.
It's just like a jive riff, basically.
You know, or like a cheap 70s porno.
Okay, now we're gonna get flagged.
I'm not even doing a real song. I'm just picking a random fucking. I can do any like 70s riff, but the action's also really well done in this. I thought they would skimp out on it or kind of
they went full bore on it. It actually looks great.
Probably my favorite being the fight between Rick Flag and Shiva, where she's only fighting with one fucking finger. She's just like she grabs her by the mouth and throws him over her shoulder, which I'm like pretty sure you couldn't do.
I think you actually can. Do
you probably can, but like I was like, hot damn. Pretty much all the fights. The only one that's kind of ridiculous is the fight between Richard Dragon and King Snake, where he's beating him with fucking pebbles. Like, for those of you who don't know, King Dragon is a martial arts character in the DC universe. He's actually blind, so he fights using only his hearing.
So he's basically Daredevil.
Yeah. Well, it's hilarious because like they make him seem like such a threat to Rich, and I'm like, this motherfucker got his ass beat by Robin. Like he was literally the guy that like Tim Drake first fought in his Robin mini. He was trained by Lady Shiva in how to use the bow staff. It's actually why Tim is considered the greatest bow staff martial artist in the DC universe, because that like she taught him how to fight with that bow staff. And he literally beats King Snake by putting a notch in his bow staff to make it whistle. So he's like, oh, I can't hear anything. And then Tim just beats the shit out of him. It's fucking hilarious. The other characters for the villains were Lady Eve, who I've not really heard of.
Yeah, I've never heard of her, admittedly.
I'm pretty sure she was just there purely so that we could have Lady Shiva fight a female villain and make us not feel bad when if she gets beat up by a male villain. But that scene was great, especially when she breaks the sword with her bare hands.
I am the weapon.
I am the weapon. Yeah, that was great too, because she's actually voiced by Kelly Hu actually did Shiva in the Arkham series. And what did you think of her?
It was a good performance.
Yeah, I know. Especially because like, I like that they kind of get like because my problem with later on versions of Shiva is that they basically just make her like a crazy cult lady, or like that she's just wants to die because she's like, I've done everything. I kind of just want to die. But like my favorite being when you find out that Bronze Tiger could have killed the guy that led the Cobra Cult, but he didn't because he was a kid, and she's just like, this is your fault. You should have killed the little bastard.
I would have thrown Hitler's bassinet into a volcano. I'm like, and you're just looking at me, and I'm like, I mean, she's got a point.
I mean, yeah, but I
leads to like a 5-minute meta discussion on should you kill baby Hitler?
We won't get into that because
that was just like, I don't even know why we went on that tangent.
No, I don't know either, because I was like, yeah, but things
led to us just me looking at you and point, be like, what the fuck are you talking
about? Well,
that
was because I heard you wrong, and I was trying to explain that like it don't matter.
Just remember the hyphen shit.
Yeah, but yeah, there's some great stuff too. But like, I will admit, if you're one of those people that is a stickler for Batman shouldn't kill, this movie's kind of weird in places because like Batman will use lethal force a lot in this movie. Granted, it's not to like humans. It's usually like demons.
Which I think he's totally fine with. I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of like Superman killing robots.
Yeah,
Superman got no problem killing fucking robots.
Yeah, I mean, Batman would prefer not to, but like demons don't fucking count. They're demons. It's not like you're actually killing them either. My favorite being he's gonna use mace on these two snake demons, and Bronze Tiger grabs the torch and does the whole From Russia with Love thing and literally burns them to death.
Which we did that. Remember, we wanted to do that one night with Compos. Remember, I couldn't get the lighter going. I'm like, Adam, go get me some aerosol.
Yeah, and I'm like. I'm like, you want so we can blow it up? It'll blow up in our faces and we die.
I was gonna do with Russia from Love. I was really gonna open the padlock.
I mean, to be fair, I've thought about that for like
that's an extreme situation.
Not realistically, but like there have been days where I'm like, I'm gonna go get an aerosol can in a match, and I'm gonna do the redneck method.
Redneck flamethrower.
Oh my god. No, I'm
sure they'd love that. They're just looking at the camera like, what the fuck are they doing?
As an aside, my mom works in medical records at a hospital, and I always remember this story. So this old guy, and this is a tangent, but like this is actually funny. This old dude was sent to the hospital because he had a heart attack. He had a heart attack because he was trying to, those like fake ladybugs, the orange ones that are like a pest beetle.
Yeah. He
made a makeshift flamethrower and was torching. He literally got a heart attack from being pissed at these ladybugs, and was killing them with a flamethrower. He lived, but like,
what the fuck? like you ever just hear a story and you can see it perfectly, and it just leaves you wondering, like, what the actual
like
fuck?
that was all the information she gave me about that. And I'm like, hold up.
Wait a fucking minute.
You're telling me this dude got a heart attack because he was so mad? He was what these ladybugs got, so he fashioned a flamethrower? But no, I
having fucking flashbacks to Iwo Jima or some shit.
Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, getting back off the tangent. Yeah, if I were to say there's any real problem other than that, it's just Batman stands way too out in this movie. Like, and I feel bad for saying that.
It was getting near the end. We were just joking about it. I'm just like, I mean, I gotta be honest. I look kind of fucking stupid.
Because, like, again, like, everyone else looks pretty normal for the most part, aside
and then
from, like...
there's just Batman.
Yeah, like, the only character that looks kind of like him is the leader of Cobra. Because he's dressed like a fucking snake god.
It just got... as soon as he said it, I was like, okay. And then towards the end of the movie, it just kept getting more and more pronounced. And I'm like, bro, he looks fucking ridiculous.
And I think a lot of the problem is they use Batman so sparingly.
When he shows up,
when he shows up,
I forgot Batman was here.
in this. Like, we'll have Richard and Shiva's fight with Lady Eve and King Cobra.
And then all of a sudden, bam, here's Batman.
It's like, just like, oh, right, I forgot you were here.
Forgot I'm watching a fucking Batman movie.
It takes like 10 or 15 minutes for us to even get the first appearance of him.
And then we get 3 minutes, and then bam, we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, like, it's so weird because they want to. I get why they wanted this to be more about like these other characters, but you can't sell this movie about these 70s characters that probably not a lot of people know about, unless you have. In my opinion, it kind of feels like Justice League Dark, which I don't think you've seen, but like
I haven't.
Like Justice League Dark is about all these magician characters from the DC universe. It's got Zatanna, Constantine, Swamp Thing. It's got all these like occult characters, but they have to have Batman. Although I think Batman works better there because like.
It's at least Batman.
Well, not only that, like, Batman deals with magic and shit all the time.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not nearly as... Plus, not only that, they don't use him nearly as sparingly in that, like...
Also, we need to talk about the ultimate joke that you and I had with the movie, that they just continuously shit on the fact his parents are dead. Yeah, I'm like, bro, holy fuck.
They really deconstruct Batman in this, like from the moment...
Like, damn, did Alan Moore co-write this shit?
Yeah, like with O-Sensei being like, you can't... You want to fight evil. Because, like, there's a scene where, like, O-Sensei's, like, telling them to punch this rock, and eventually someday you might try to break this rock, and someday you might break it. Because, like, I think the whole point is, like, you may try to do impossible things, and sometimes your body will not be strong enough to do it, even with all the martial arts skills you have. You know, like it's supposed to be like a whole like, you know, this is, you know, it'll make you stronger, like punching this rock, but you'll never probably be able to get past it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And of course, Bruce decides like, I'm gonna just punch this rock all fucking night.
I'm gonna punch this rock like it has an eighth.
Yeah, like until my hands bleed. Which admittedly I like O Sensei's thing here. He's like, you know, I said to try to break the rock. You know, I know what you want to do. You want to fight evil so that what happened with your parents will never happen to anyone else. And maybe someday you will break the rock. But then the rock will become pebbles. You may even try to break the pebbles and it'll become sand. Evil is like this rock. It's eternal. You can't completely get rid of evil. Which, I like O Sensei's argument, but like, and to be fair, like, if this movie were more about Batman, Batman would be like, I know I can't actually completely stop evil, but if I can make it so that, you know, people can walk the streets of Gotham at night, that criminals, you know, want to do their crimes in the day because they fear the bat. You know, if I can make sure no one else becomes like me, even if I can't completely stop it, I will at least have done some good. You know, that sort of thing. But like, and granted, this is a younger Batman, so like I get why he's not nearly as
well versed in things. You know?
Yeah.
He's not as nearly as experienced.
Because like I think a lot of people think that Batman literally wants to stop all evil, and like Batman knows he can't do that though. But that doesn't stop him from trying. Like that he's like, I need to, like, my sense of duty, I know I can't truly like truly combat evil completely, but I can make sure that I can make Gotham a better place, and I can make the world a better place, sort of thing. It's like why I get kind of frustrated with Batman. Not in this.
Thanks for watching this episode where we deconstruct Batman. Tune in next week.
Nice. But like, you get what I mean. Like the fact that Batman like drove everyone else away because he's like, I'm so dedicated to my mission. Like I get frustrated with that idea with Batman. Like I feel like that's not entirely true with him. I don't know. It's more like my own feelings on Batman, but I don't know. What were your thoughts on some of the stuff with Batman here?
Again, just getting beyond the fact that it definitely felt less like a Batman movie throughout the whole film. The parts where he was in it, I thought were really good because we're seeing like as you talked about, we're seeing kind of a younger Batman.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a Batman who's like a little less versed at what some would call like the forge of experience. You know? He hasn't been in it as long as he has in some of these other ones. You know, he doesn't have the well of like experience to pull from. Be like, well, you know, I had to do this one time and I did this. He's kind of he almost feels like he's making it up as he's going.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
But I think it works for this setting because, I mean, how many times do we see the trope with kung fu movies where it's like, you know, inexperienced guy goes up against impossible odds and comes out the victor. You know?
Yeah, true.
They're really kind of pulling on like the underdog tropes for this, and I think again in this setting it really works.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have worked necessarily as well as if like you'd had it that like, oh well, this Batman's been at this since like the 40s. You know, like we would have had like just normal Batman. I don't think it would have worked nearly as well.
Because I would argue he's like probably 18 in the flashbacks, or maybe like 20, 22.
Probably like 21, 22-ish.
And like I think in the main timeline he's probably 30. So like he's definitely been on the scene, but I also it's weird because like this Batman doesn't like, we don't see Alfred. We don't know if he has sidekicks in this. But, you know, like, fine, I get why a lot of things don't be like, oh, is there...
Well, Adam, you have to remember, Batman was the original Robin. If we go by Golden Age continuity.
Yeah.
You're just like, no, it's not canon. It's not canon anymore. You get out of here.
I'll give you Earth 2 Batman, but, I also find it kind of weird, because, like, while he is Batman, like, they don't have, like, the Batmobiles, technically. he has like a car.
It's like a weird. Remember, you and I was trying to dissect what the fuck
Yeah,
is this car?
I was like, oh, it's the Bat GTO.
And I was like, that looks more like a Firebird from the front end. Then I'm looking at the back, and I'm like, that's a fucking Nova. What the fuck is this car?
You said a Chevelle, too, at one point.
Yeah, the Chevelle and the Nova got kind of the same rear end.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's the only rear end Colton looks at is the rear ends of cars.
It's just nobody fucking wants me.
But yeah, because like you have Batman with like his gadgets and stuff, and then like he doesn't have like a traditional Batmobile, or later on when they fly to the island, the Cobra Cult's gonna.
It's just a fucking normal jet.
Yeah, it's just a jet, like, but it also has like ninja weapons in it because he's like, I came prepared, and I'm like, why do you have ninja weapons? What the fuck are you doing? But yeah. What do you think of O Sensei?
I really liked him. I thought he kind of played the perfect like mentor type figure with this.
I agree
because,
as well.
I mean, isn't that another trope of kung fu movies? Is that you kind of had to have the mentor figure?
Yeah.
So I feel like he really played the role, and I kind of like the twist they put on it at the end. I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it yet, but I feel like that twist really kind of gave it some originality to it.
That I actually
made it feel fresh.
Yeah, that I actually like that. Like they didn't make him always like uber serious. Like I like that he like would joke with his students.
Since when have I ever made sense?
Yeah, or like when the door to destiny is always open if you are willing to step through it. Now close the door. I don't want you leaking the heat out. Like I like that he always had this like warm smile on his face for the most part, and he clearly like wants to kind of joke with him to be like, you don't always have to be super serious.
Yeah.
Like I think it was one of the things he wanted to try and help Bruce with. Like when he's like, once you're on the path you can't leave, or you can feel you haven't gotten on the path yet. Feel free to leave it. And Batman's like, no, Sensei, I can't. Like I don't know. It really he sets the tone really, really well. What was your favorite character in this? For me, it was probably either Bronze Tiger or Richard Dragon.
Lady Shiva, honestly.
Yeah, Lady Shiva was pretty fucking good too.
Like you said earlier when we were watching it, I'd pay for a movie of just Lady Shiva fucking people up.
No, I would have, because like she's like the whole reason this movie's R-rated. I mean, yeah, Bronze Tiger stabs a couple guys and like snaps necks and like does the Bane knee drop at one point, but like Richard Dragon and Batman really aren't nearly as violent.
Yeah, like Shiva's over here like
cutting heads off,
putting fingers in throats and shit. It's like, oh my god.
No, they were like, no, if we're gonna have Lady Shiva in this movie,
we gotta be unhinged with this.
Like she has to kill people, and I'm like, yeah. I also love how Batman has like no problems with her killing either. Like she kills people.
Like I'm gonna stop her.
Yeah, no, like because I love it because Richard's like, have you decided to put on your Halloween mask and try to fight her?
They were scared as shit.
No, I love Bruce. He's like, I've been working up to it. like I love Batman's like, look, I'm pretty awesome, but holy shit, she's scary.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much talked a lot about it because
we don't want to give too much away because this is a brand new film. Please go and watch it. It's honestly really, really good.
If you don't feel like
it really exceeded my expectations, and I was already pretty hyped for it.
No, I would agree. My only real complaint is I think it ends kind of abruptly. Just because this is like one of my problems with the DCA is they only want to ever go to like 70 minutes.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a special occasion.
Which I almost wondered maybe they left it open. Like maybe we'll get a sequel to this.
Yeah.
Like Hell of the Dragon or some shit.
Yeah.
I would pay money for that. Just them fighting people in hell. That'd be cool.
We also after we give the ratings, stick around for a minute because we're going to talk about the trailer we got for the Justice Society movie. But
which again, I'm hyped for it because
I'm actually
damn Golden Age superheroes, sign me to fuck up.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm in.
I would definitely give this a recommend. If you don't feel like buying it, if you got an HBO Max account or know someone who does. It came out actually before it on the 12th of January. So if you want to see it, and I would recommend that. If I were to rate this, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. It's very solid, I will admit. I think it ends a little abruptly. But as a whole, I think if you really want to watch like Batman in a 70s style martial arts flick, I think that you will not be disappointed. The action's great. The voice cast is really good. Like I said, Michael Jai White as as Bronze Tiger is really really good. I keep wanting to say Black Tiger, and I don't mean to. It's Bronze Tiger, but
I was like, one thing I want to add to that too is that this kind of just shows that, hey, DC can do other shit besides being dark.
yeah.
Why the fuck can't the live action movies pick up on this shit?
Yeah, I know. Which is kind of funny because, like, for a while, I think that was a kind of a big problem with the DCAU, particularly from, like, Batman Bad Blood up into, like, Apocalypse War. It's because they were, like, trying to do the New 52 thing. But I think ever since they stopped doing that, I think it's
worked better.
It's worked better.
Every one they've come out with has been pretty fucking good.
You and I love,
solid.
Yeah, you and I loved Man of Tomorrow. Actually, I think that might be the only one that's came out.
We haven't seen Death in the Family yet.
Yeah,
which it's funny because I have it in the cabinet over there behind the screen.
We probably will do it at some point. It's just I don't know. I would like you to watch Under the Red Hood first before we do that, because Under the Red Hood is so good. It's actually probably my favorite DCAU film. Yeah. Well,
I need to buy it. I keep waiting for work to get it. And
I thought it came with that one comic book you actually got.
Actually, yeah, it did. I remember now. I forgot to show those. I went out shopping the one day, and I went to another Walmart in a different area, and they had like these they were like $8.
Yeah.
And it was like the graphic novel and the movie.
Actually,
with itself, and it was Death of Superman and Under the Red Hood. So I got both the comics and the Blu-ray for like $6. I was like, damn, and they're hardback too. So I'm like, I can't argue with this.
I actually love when DC and Marvel do that. Well, okay, Marvel not as much, but like I actually wish DC would do that more. Although granted, as much as I love the movie Under the Red Hood, the book's kind of, it's not bad, but like it definitely feels like it's a comic book, because it's like, oh, we got to bring up Superman and Green Arrow's deaths because Batman doesn't want to admit that Jason's alive. We have to do like a bunch of side stories because we don't. This has to stretch out to like 6 months of comics, that sort of thing. But yeah, so I definitely say recommend it.
Yeah, definitely.
What was your rating?
I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say 8 out of 10. Definitely solid. Before we close off, let's talk about the Justice Society trailer.
Which again, I'm hyped for, because those who don't know, I wrote my dissertation on partially on the golden age of comics, particularly dealing with the death of it, which was, in my argument for my thesis was the comic book scare of the 1950s.
Yeah. So
I like golden age stuff, and as soon as I saw the trailer for this, I was like, oh hell, I'm hyped for this. Yeah. This looks good. Like, they're using golden age designs. Fuck yeah, I'm officially in now.
Yeah, basically the plot is, well, okay, there's because speaking of Apocalypse War, I think this is actually taking place after Apocalypse War, where Constantine tells Flash to time travel again to try and, basically to a second Flashpoint where he's trying to, like, I guess bring about the Rebirth era instead of the New 52, which is surreal because, like, the New 52 hasn't been a thing for, like,
a decade. Close to it?
Close to it, yeah, because I forget when Rebirth came out. It's been a couple years, but, basically, due to the events of Flash time traveling, he ends up in World War II, and basically finds out that there was a team of superheroes that have been fighting in World War II, which was, of course, the Justice League, which, in this...
The Justice Society.
Or Justice Society, sorry, yes. The Justice Society, which in this is Wonder Woman,
Hourman, Black Canary,
Hawkman,
Flash,
and Jay Garrick Flash.
And Steve Trevor. Don't forget Steve Trevor.
Steve Trevor. Yeah. And basically, Barry, because this is Barry. So I feel like not only is this doing Justice Society stuff, it's also kind of referencing the Flash of Two Worlds story that, which I think is actually the first multiverse story of the DC Universe, or at least the most well-known first story, where basically Barry ends up in the alternate universe of the Golden Age Flash, because for those of you who don't know, after the Golden Age, in order to explain why there was like a Golden Age Green Lantern, Flash, I'm trying to think of, well, basically a lot of these Golden Age characters that they didn't really use. With Barry, they tried to explain that Jay Garrick's Flash was a comic book that Barry read, which actually inspired him to become this universe's Flash. Eventually they decided, let's have the two Flashes meet. which led to, I forget what villain it is. I think Mirror Master. Creates a portal that he accidentally sends Barry into the Golden Age, basically the Earth 2. Because basically how DC tries to make it out is that the comic books you all know about, because I'm going by the people that have never read Golden Age stuff. Basically from the Silver Age up until the New 52 happened on what's known as Earth 1.
Actually, Bronze Age is Earth 1. Silver and gold are on the same planet.
Oh, well. Well, I only say that because, like, technically... Well, I do agree with you that, like, you've got, like... Technically, Barry was a product of the Silver Age.
No, I know. It's weird.
Yeah,
They try to say both those eras, though, are Earth 2.
Yeah, that and, like... Come, like, Crisis on Infinite Earths, they kind of just try to say that just the Golden Age is Earth 2.
Yeah.
But, like... We're splitting hairs at this point.
They can't keep
we're
this
splitting
shit
hairs
straight.
at this point.
We can't keep this shit straight, neither can DC.
Yeah, we're splitting hairs at this point. But basically... Like, Golden Age Superman, like, the Superman that can juggle planets on his pinky and can shoot little rainbow versions of himself from his fingers. And, like, the Golden Age Batman who fought in World War II with Robin feeding
the one who had the different colored costumes.
Yeah, the one... If I don't wear a different one every night, Robin, I'll die!
Yeah, just... the fucking crazy shit.
Yeah,
The shit that I'm always eager to, like, show people, because I'm like, look at this shit.
And the Justice Society itself take place on Earth 2. Originally, the Justice Society was supposed to take place on Earth 1, but, like, I think one of the problems that they always have with the Justice Society is because of the fact that they're cemented around World War II, that means they're going to get older and older and older. Because, like, at this point in time, the World War II is, like, 100 years old. So, like...
Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah. So, like... They had to explain why some of these characters haven't aged. Like, you know, like Green Lantern and, like, Jay Garrick technically have stopped well, Jay ages, but, like, very slowly. I think it's supposed to imply, like, the Speed Force kind of has, like, made it so he'll live longer. Which is weird, because originally Jay didn't have the Speed Force, but then, like, the Speed Force became a thing.
Retcons.
Also the fact that there's, like...
Hashtag comic book.
Actually, especially because there's, like, 20 different Speedster characters. Not even getting into, like, the characters like Jesse Quick, Impulse, the Black Racer. But anyway, this is me trying to explain how complicated as fuck the Flash is.
Yeah, basically, we're dealing with... Barry goes back in time, and we're getting a movie of him palling around with the Justice Society during a mission during World War II.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, cool, I'm officially in.
Yeah.
I mean, the sneak peek we watched was really cool. Like, they kind of discussed the designs they used.
Yeah.
Like, for Wonder Woman, they went back to the original Marston-led comics. Yeah. I was like, damn, I don't think we've ever seen that in animation.
Not only that, but, like, kind of in the Justice League New Frontier story, but...
That was more Silver Age.
I was actually going to say, even then...
I think this might be the first time we've seen Diana's Golden Age look in an actual proper movie.
Not only that, she's got, like, the hair that she had back then, like, the kind of curls that she had. Although, weirdly enough, they give her, like, a really weird accent in this movie. I think they're trying to make her sound like Gal Gadot, but, like, she kind of sounds Russian.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Whatever.
I mean, I'm fine with it, too. It's just, I was like, oh, okay. They're giving her a very thick accent, but,
Maybe she's doing it to try to blend in. There's an idea.
Maybe. And again, of course, maybe I'll find out that that's actually a Greek accent, and I'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so, anyway, I'm really excited for it. I think it looks really good. The sneak peek, kind of what happened with Soul of the Dragon. The sneak peek really kind of is like, okay, I'm sold. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
When it comes out, I'll definitely buy it. Which I kind of like that they're doing that anymore. They're doing like these sneak peeks on everyone because it kind of lets you get hyped for stuff. You know, you start looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's not just like they drop it and it's like, here you go.
Yeah, because this one they actually had like the producer of the movie like talk like he's like a 1940s like
he's Orson Welles.
Yeah, or like he's doing like radio announcement like the fireside chats, or like you're watching like an old film reel and he's like, Dateline.
Yeah.
1942.
The Marines have officially taken Iwo Jima. just like stuff like that. Like it puts you. It kind of like what they did with the music for Soul of the Dragon. It really puts you in the mood and just like the atmosphere of the time.
Remember the trailer for that where like they had like a dude who dressed up like a pimp?
Oh, I remember you and I were like, bro, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna look forward to this because this looks good.
I'm also excited the fact we get to see Golden Age Black Canary because like I don't think a lot of people know that technically Dinah's not the first Black Canary. Her mom was, which I brought up in Birds of Prey, but the less said about that, the better.
Do you think this kind of came up due to the success of the Stargirl show? Because the Justice Society is pretty prominent in that.
I would say that, and the fact that Wonder Woman has done well, like the Wonder Woman movies have done really well.
Yeah, and they showed Wonder Woman in the first live action movie was during World War One.
Yeah, and I think here that basically because the whole reason they did World War One with Wonder Woman, and while I'm not saying I hate it or anything, they did that because they didn't want to look like they were copying Captain America.
Yeah.
Which, it's not like Marvel has the fucking,
it's not like they copyrighted World War II.
Yeah. But, I mean, granted, I still like that. And it was cool seeing her, like, in World War One, where, like, she's like, fucking ricocheting artillery shells, and, like, she fucking, like, she's still Wonder Woman fighting German soldiers,
yeah,
and, like, picking up tanks and shit. It's fucking awesome, regardless of what era it takes place in. So it's nice here to see her actually in the era she was created for.
Yeah.
Like, the whole reason Marsden created her was because he's like, yeah, fuck you, Hitler. Tell me I can't bang two women at the same time. Here's fucking Wonder Woman.
Yeah, basically.
Women are second-class citizens in World War II? Or in Nazi Germany? Well, here's a fucking woman beating the shit out of all your fucking Gestapo and SS. How do you like that?
Sorry, there's somebody pulling. I was like, do not block my fucking car.
Yeah, no, I feel you. The other thing I will admit is kind of weird is Aquaman's going to show up in this movie.
Yeah, which is just, you and I were like,
okay. Because, like, he was a Silver Age character product, but,
weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, weird flex, but okay, you know. I just assume that, like, whatever weapon the Nazis are doing, they must have stolen it from Atlantis.
Yeah. Which makes sense because, you know, there's that whole division of the SS they had looking for that kind of shit. So that's some interesting shit.
So I assume Aquaman's coming up being like, who stole my shit?
I was on the shitter and someone stole my shit.
God damn it, enough with the toilet. Aquaman taking a shit underwater. That was like 2 years ago. Let it go.
It's still funny. I need to know.
It is pretty funny. Actually, I say that was season 2, so that was like this year. Yeah. It just feels like it's been forever because of fucking COVID.
So, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
You know, just in general, I'm glad we did this because, like, I always look forward to when the DCAU does kind of stuff that's not just
out of the box, basically.
Yeah, like we're not just doing here's Batman Hush. Like we're not just doing a story.
Just adapting a comic that I'm like, I've seen this, I've read it.
Yeah, which I mean, great.
We change stuff. Now I'm pissed you changed the comic. Why'd you do this?
Yeah, because like not every one of them is gonna be a hit. Like, I actually will admit, Under the Red Hood, I actually say watch the movie over the book, but you know, like it's not like we're watching The Dark Knight Returns or like doing The Court of Owls. It was kind of fun to see them doing like an Elseworlds thing. It's one of the reasons why I was so happy for them to do Gotham by Gaslight, because I'm like, oh, so we're gonna start doing like One Red Sun.
It's like me as a history guy. It's like comic book movies with historical settings. You say, you know, keep talking. Keep talking. I'm interested.
And to be fair, like I love Batman in different historical eras. Like, what if Batman?
Caveman Batman.
Yeah, like what if Batman was an agent of the Vatican, or like what if he was like
just stuff like that. It's just interesting.
It's
like,
interesting, yeah.
Batmanovich, you know, the Russian terrorist. It's shit that's interesting because it's different.
And it's such a shame that like Marvel doesn't want to do stuff like this with their animated stuff, because like
maybe they will now that they have the what if thing going.
It would be nice if that were to be the case. Either way, I'm looking forward to whatever comes next for the DCAU, because like, you know, if nothing else, it's always interesting to see what they do, because they've been doing this for so long, since like Batman Mask of the Phantasm. But you know, I just hope, you know, you guys all stick around for whatever comes next. So that's gonna wrap it up for this one, guys. We've got some more stuff coming your way. You know, just look forward to whatever comes next in season 3.
I'm finally gonna convince him to play Monopoly with me.
No, probably not.
Anyway, guys, I'm Average Joe Squad.
And I'm Zongetsu 134.
And as always,
we ask you,
remember the hyphen?
And take care.